Serious. People of Reddit. What is the creepiest thing that happened to you while home alone? I got a phone call asking how my TV was holding up. I thought it was just the company we bought it from checking up on it and doing their normal customer support stuff until I was told exactly what channel I was watching. I asked who it was on the phone and they said, "Don't worry, I can see you but you can't see me." I was 9 at the time and my parents were out of town for work, so my older sister, 17 at the time, got us all to hide in my parents' closet with the guns and we called the police. When they arrived they called us to let us know it was them knocking on the door. They found footprints but no person. We installed security cameras not soon after and never had a problem again, but it still creeps me out to this day. Saturday morning. 1970s. Dad is at work and my mom and sister went shopping for groceries. I was in the bath when the house was broken into. I froze, trying not to make a sound as I heard someone creeping through the house. Then heard them try to open the bathroom door just as the doorbell rang. It was Mom, hoping I'd open the front door because her arms were overloaded with grocery bags. She saw a shadow through the stained glass beside the front door go downstairs. I think that was the one time I'd never been happier to see my mum. I was 9. A man was standing outside on my lawn about 6 years ago in the middle of the day. Freaked me the feck out. Found out he lives next to my house. Same guy. Same place. He knocks on my door and asks me if I've seen his cat. I hadn't and asked what it looked like for future reference. He then looks me in the eyes, dead serious, and says, "I don't know," and then stares at me in silence for 30 seconds. Last story. After a snowstorm, I went outside and saw bare human footprints leading from my yard to his house up a hill. This guy's freaky. My dog was very restless, but I figured she just wanted to go outside. As we get closer to the door she begins to growl and her hackles raised. Idiot me still opened the door. "Hello, masked stranger." I lucked out, the guy took off running. Imagine being that guy. The last thing he was expecting was for someone to calmly open the door with their attack dog at the ready. You shook his confidence, lol. Similar situation. I have an English Mastiff who is the definition of a teddy bear but looks and sounds terrifying. Especially if she thinks someone is going to hurt me. She was fussing one night and I just assumed she had to go potty, so I leashed her and we went to start our walk. Opened the door and 2 men stood outside trying to pop the lock on the screen door. I have no idea how I didn't hear them. She went insane, barking and growling and lunging to get them. They took off and I never had another problem. This happened to my mom. She grew up in Wichita, Kansas while the BTK serial killer was active. The house of one of his first victims was down her block. But one day she was home with her brother. She was upstairs in her room and he was downstairs. Apparently he heard a noise in the backyard moments before the power cut out. This was one of the key things that BTK did before entering the home. She just knew the power went out, then heard her brother scream and yelled for her to run away. She hopped out her window and sprinted barefoot to a Pizza Hut a couple blocks away. She called the police who went to the house but didn't find anything and everything turned out fine. Really quick thinking on your uncle's part. I had a dog that suddenly jumped awake at night and went absolutely apeshit. He ran to the rear of the house, barking, growling, hair standing on end. We're talking full on fight to the death mode here. I tried walking back to see what the problem was, but he wouldn't let me past him. Kept blocking my way. I did hear a couple strange sounds like maybe the house was settling, but nothing out of the ordinary. He was acting like whatever he was seeing or hearing was inside the house, not outside. He wasn't looking out a window. He was blocking the hallway to the laundry room and backing up like something was slowly advancing on him. After a while he calmed down. The supposed threat went away. It was probably about 10 minutes of pretty intense growling and barking though. Even after he calmed down, he still wouldn't let me go down that hall until daylight. When I finally did, I couldn't see anything unusual. I still have no idea what set him off. But whatever it was, he was not okay with it. He was honestly acting like he was going to die, but was damn sure taking whatever it was with him. Not long ago I fell asleep on the couch with my dog while my partner was away for the weekend. I woke up at 4 AM to him growling and going mental, and I realize someone is walking around the back door, which is a glass sliding door. I can see their flashlight but not a face because the light is shining in on me. It turned out to be my partner coming home early and had forgotten his house keys. I almost shat myself though and felt like I was having a heart attack. I grew up in Mexico, and when I was a teenager, 12-16, can't remember the exact date, I was home watching movies, playing video games while my parents were out with some friends. My brother was staying with my grandparents. At around 10 PM, I hear screeching tires in the distance. Then some loud plops getting closer. Eventually getting right on the street I live. I quickly recognized this as gunshots, or assumed they were. I wasn't taking any chances. I hurry up and lock all the doors. Turn off all the lights and lay behind my bed while I hear a barrage of plops right outside my house. As well as my garage's door rattling. It was two large metal doors that would slide to the sides to open and close. This lasts for about 10 minutes and then I hear screeching tires again. Followed by a ton of police cars. I waited for about 30 minutes behind my bed until I finally came out to see if everyone was gone. To my house window. Not outside. And then promptly went back to playing video games. And then promptly went back to playing video game. This guy knows his priorities. Home alone when I was 10 or 12, somewhere in between there. My parents' house is located in the suburbs surrounded by woods and the golf course. It was a stormy night and my parents went out for dinner. I was watching TV in the living room with my dog on my lap when all of a sudden she jumps up and sprints to the front door barking. She never barks. My dad trained her since she had a very loud annoying bark. I walk over and turn on the outside light to see nobody. As soon as I did this, she sprinted to the back living room by the pool with sliding glass doors and starts barking over there like someone was inside the screened pool area. I run over and turn the pool lights on. Empty. I started to get kinda freaked out. She then ran to the garage door barking like she was going to rip someone's face off. I grab a knife from the kitchen and open the garage door to hear the rain and see the main garage door wide open. I immediately shut the garage door and slammed the inside door behind me. Grabbed my dog and ran into my room, locking the door and going into the closet. I waited in there what felt like 3 hours for my parents to get home. I told them everything and my dad went outside to find what looked like new muddy footprints around the garage and pool area. Nothing else ever came about from it, but man, I got the chills typing that out. Freaky experience. I got home late one night. It was hot, so the first thing I did was open the back door to let the breeze through. In my dark backyard I saw the glow of a cigarette. Before I could react, I saw the cigarette thrown to the floor and heard someone clamber over my back fence and run away down the alley. Home alone at about 12 years old. Watching a movie on my laptop when suddenly the back door slammed shut. I had locked it, so I knew something wasn't right. I got up with a metal baseball bat. Then the front door, which I had locked, slammed shut as well. Locked the back door and went to check out the front door. Locked the front door and heard a knocking at the back door. I ran into my room. Called the police and hid until they arrived. The knocking was continuous for about 3 minutes. Non-stop. Until I heard sirens. They had a look at our surveillance video. It showed the doors opening on their own and no one at the back door when I heard knocking. Now there's 2 dead bolts on both doors. Demon was just passing through but probably dropped his keys in your living room. We all know the cats at 3 AM meme where your cat starts running around the house and making a huge ruckus in the middle of the night for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, all cats do that. No big deal. Well, one night my cat was doing that, and since it was pretty common I just ignored it. Cats do it and it's normal. I was downstairs and not asleep yet. And my cat was upstairs. It kept going for a little while but I paid no attention to it until I heard glass shatter. I went upstairs to check on my cat and see what broke. My cat was sound asleep. Nothing was broken. It literally wasn't 30 seconds after I heard something break that I stood up and went upstairs. And my cat was sleeping like a baby. When I went to go pick her up, she did that stretch and yawn thing that cats do after waking up from a long nap. And she had obviously been asleep for quite some time. I never found any broken glass. Which? Every night my family's cats would sit at the bottom of the stairs and just stare up at the top steps. We have 2 cats and they both do it. Every night. There's never been anything up there and they just stare at it for minutes on end with wide eyes. I'm not a superstitious person, but it certainly makes me think about it at times. Cats are weird. I was living with my parents, but they were out of town for a couple of nights. I was sitting at my computer with my headphones on playing video games at maybe 1-2 in the morning. Suddenly I feel my phone vibrating. I look down and see that someone new has added me on Snapchat, and out of curiosity I accept. I continue playing my game. And when it's done I look at my phone again to see if the person has messaged me. Which they had. So I open up the Snapchat and to my extreme horror I see that it's a photo of me sitting at my computer. Playing video games. Taken from a good bit behind me with zoom. The photo had been taken maybe just a few minutes before while I was still in the game. There was no caption. No text. No nothing. I immediately go into panic mode and think I'm going to be murdered any second. Now. All the lights were off in the house. So I couldn't see outside of my room because it was pitch black. But the light switch for the hallway is just outside of my room. I sneak out and flick it on but don't see anyone. I slowly walk towards the kitchen to turn those lights on as well. And to grab a knife. As soon as I turn on the lights I hear someone literally stomping up the stairs from the first floor. Very slowly. But very loud, and the lights on the first floor were all off. So it was pitch black down there as well. At that point I just thought F it and ran outside. Outside I see 2 of my mates. Filming me and laughing their ass off. Turns out that when they had been at my place earlier during the day they had devised a plan to prank the shit out of me. And stolen the extra key we kept at home. So 2 of the guys had gone in through the door on the bottom floor. And the other 2 were waiting outside to film my reaction when I ran out. Pretty anticlimactic ending to the story. But still. It scared the ever-living shit out of me. My family went out grocery shopping once when I was a teenager. So I thought it'd be the perfect time to get some dishes cleaned in peace. After a few minutes. I heard what sounded like somebody trying to talk to me. But I didn't think much of it. I lived in the city so my neighbors were close by and always being loudish. So I figured it was them. But then I hear what sounds like somebody's death rattle right by my ear. I don't know how to describe the sound all that well. But it was really disgusting and strangled. Like somebody was choking to death. I freak out. Immediately turn around. And there's nothing in the kitchen with me. Somehow that wasn't the strangest part, because right after, my cats all rush into the basement. They definitely looked scared and it wasn't often they ran from anything unless people were over. That leaves me and my dog to patrol the house. So I grabbed a knife and looked the place over top to bottom. Even checked the creepy attic attached to my mom's bedroom. There wasn't anybody else there. Not even a sign of somebody messing around inside or outside. So I did the most reasonable thing and scurried into the basement with my pets and cried because I was scared. This one kid I went to school with would wait until my single mother went to work. And he would call my house over and over again, and also come over and knock on the front door and then go knock on the back door when I didn't answer. He also followed me to and from school until his parents took his car away. So he just walked behind me instead. I am honestly still traumatized from these experiences. What the F? I was staying at my parents' place, sleeping in their bed while they were away, when suddenly I wake up paralyzed while I first heard then saw someone sneaking around. The bedroom door was open. The person wearing dark clothes, face obscured, eventually came into the room, sat on the bed, and leaned closer, closer, closer. When I was finally able to break the sleep paralysis, the first thing I did was make sure the front door was locked. It was not. The towel hanger on my bathroom door has 4 hooks, IDK if there's a proper word, but I only use 2. So, I keep my towels, completely different in terms of size and color, on the first, foreface, and third, forehands, hook. I live alone and I kept them like that for more than a year. The only times I move the towels is when I put them in the washing machine. No more than 2 weeks ago. During the day, I open my bathroom door and the face towel is on the 4th hook instead of the 1st. I had nobody visiting or anything like that, and I've never switched hooks on purpose before.